Welcome to Cardiff University and the School of Healthcare Sciences. My name is Stephen Whitcomb and I'm one of the admission tutors for the Occupational Therapy programmes.
Hello, welcome to Cardiff University, the School of Healthcare Science. My name is Heather Hurst and I'm one of the admission tutors for Occupational Therapy. I'm going to talk to you today about the BSc Honours and Postgraduate Diploma Occupational Therapy courses that we offer here at Cardiff University. So, I'll give you a little bit of sort of an overview of what I'll be talking about in the next 15-20 minutes. So if you might be listening to this talk because you want to know what occupational therapy is, you don't know what it is, you want to find out a bit more and see if it's the right job for you. So I'll talk a little bit about what occupational therapy is. Then I'll talk to you a little bit about the programmes that we offer here at Cardiff University. I'll talk a little bit about the programme content and the delivery and how we teach you. And then I'll talk to you about how to apply. So, what is occupational therapy? I'm going to give you a definition from the World Federation of Occupational Therapists. For those of you who might never have heard of occupational therapy, just sort of gives you a sort of broad definition. So occupational therapy is a client-centred health profession concerned with promoting health and well-being through occupation. Occupational therapists achieve this by working with people or with communities to help them engage in occupations that they want to, need to, or are expected to do. And we do this by modifying the occupation or the environment to support occupational engagement. The primary goal of occupational therapy is to enable people to participate in activities of daily life. So, occupational therapists work with people of all ages to enable them to do what they want or need to be able to do. Things that you or I might take for granted can be a challenge for other people. We help people we work with to address these challenges, to do what they want or need to be able to do. So it's quite a varied career, it's an exciting career, and each career path will be quite unique. The places we can work and the clients we work with are all going to be different. So if you're wanting a career, perhaps that has variety and that you have a unique career pathway, this might be the career for you. So when we talk about occupational therapy, what does this mean? So if we look at the picture in the centre of the screen, there are two people dancing. So this could be classed as a meaningful occupation, something that they want to be able to do. So let's think if one of the people in the picture breaks their leg. Occupational therapists will support that person to get back or to engage in the occupation of dancing. Our goal will be to return you to being able to dance, whether that's in a modified way or back to the way you were before. So our role is not to identify you've broken a leg or to be the person who pins and plates a broken leg or the person to increase the strength through exercises. We instead recognise the meaning of this occupation to the person, and in this example dancing, and try to get the person back to being able to dance. So our goal is an occupation. So I talk about occupations. So what are occupations? Well, to help us sort of explain occupations, we tend to put them into three broad categories. So these are productivity. So these are activities that give a person a sense of purpose and value. So broadly speaking, it's things we do to contribute to society. So it might be broader than just working. It can include volunteering and it can include maybe being a carer. Then we have leisure activities. And these are activities that individuals do for fun and enjoyment. So these are things that we do to maybe in our downtime, of which I think we've probably all got quite a lot at the moment, but things we do to enjoy ourselves. So it could be quite sedentary things. It could be reading or knitting or doing creative activities. but it can be more active things that we do. It can be surfing, scuba diving, walking the dog. It can even be meeting friends, which I think is something we all are looking forward to doing in the future. And finally, it's self-care activities. So these are things that we do to take care of the body and mind, things we do to look after ourselves. So this can be things that we do every day. So things like getting up in the morning, getting washed, getting dressed, feeding ourselves. But for other people, it can be things that we do to look after our body and mind. So we might do yoga, or we might do keep fit. So occupations are things that we do to occupy our time. And occupational therapists work with a range of issues that are important or meaningful to a person, or things that we simply need to be able to do. So occupational therapists work with people who've got a whole host of conditions or reasons why they can't do what they want or need to be able to do. So these can be physical or mental health issues, or they can be both, as we see both make up the well-being of people. These can be things that people may have acquired through their life, or they might be things that they're born with. So we work with people who've got a range of conditions. So I'll let you have a look at some of the types of conditions you might come across during your career as an occupational therapist. So given that people might have a variety of conditions, it means that we work in a variety of settings too. As I said earlier, each occupational therapist's career will be unique, and each of them might work in a variety of places and settings. So we work with people who are young, we work with adults, and we work with older adults. So this can include hospitals or social care settings where we might work as part of a multidisciplinary team, and it might be on the ward or it could be in a community. We might work in outpatients, we might work as part of a hand therapy team. So we might be splinting and giving advice when people can't do the occupations that they need to be able to do. We might work with people in dementia services. We might work in a children's mental health community team. We might work with people in prisons. We could also work in schools with teachers and with parents. We might work in people's homes, so we might provide reablement, or maybe we'll be involved in adapting a property. We could also work in charities, or we can work with the homeless. This is just a snapshot of the areas you could work with if you had an occupational therapy degree. So I hope you can see that occupational therapy means that you work with a variety of people in a variety of settings. So it's quite an exciting profession. So hopefully you might be interested in becoming an occupational therapist. So let me tell you a little bit more about the courses we offer and what we want from you. We have two routes here at Cardiff University. We have the BSc Honours in Occupational Therapy, which is a 3-year full-time programme, and applications for this programme are via the UCAS system. We look for you to have 3 A-levels of A, B, B or equivalent. The other route is a postgraduate diploma in occupational therapy, and this is a 2-year accelerated course. An application is via direct entry to Cardiff University. For that course, we look at you having a 2-2 degree or above. For both courses, what we're looking for is that you have an understanding of the profession, that you understand what an occupational therapist can do. We also look for you to have an understanding of the programmes we run. So please do check our website to find out more details about our programme and what we are looking for. And we also are looking for a commitment to the profession, that occupational therapy is the profession that you want to be part of. So I think what I can say is that we've got a very student-centred approach to teaching here. Our main teaching method is problem-based appreciative inquiry learning. So this means that we work in small groups to develop our learning around topic areas, and it's through this method that we build on and develop our professional understanding and reasoning for becoming occupational therapists. But we also, through this method, develop skills for team working and becoming independent researchers, which are important skills for autonomous practitioners of the future. And we support this through keynote lectures and use a variety of experiential learning to support you to understand the theory base that is required to become occupational therapists. So we might also include people who need our services to come in and talk to you about their experiences, or we might have practitioners who work out in the clinical setting to come and talk to you about their experiences too. An important part of what we do is that we have 1,000 hours of practice education, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about that later on in the presentation. So it's a requirement to become registered with the Health and Cares Professions Council that you do these hours out in the practice placement setting. There are opportunities for you to study in Welsh, and also if you want to learn Welsh whilst you're with us, there are opportunities to do that. We have a children's clinic, which is a working clinic where children come in for assessment and intervention, and at times this is opened up for students. We'll put calls out for students to come and participate in the children's clinic, so that's another opportunity. We have opportunities also to go and do studying abroad and volunteering, and we have at the end of the first year, just before you go into the second year, an opportunity to participate in a creativity course, which is a course which is usually held in Belgium, where occupational therapy students come from across Europe to come and work together. And I think most importantly is that we're quite a dynamic and friendly team, so our students hopefully would tell you, if you are able to speak to them, that we are very approachable and that we enjoy working in a student-centred way with you. So part of the way we teach you is that we look at the life cycle process. So we look at the different stages of life that humans go through. So we'll start off with from children to young adults to older adults. So we understand the life cycle process across the range of ages. We explore occupation in their broadest sense. So we look at what do we mean when we talk about occupation. So we explore the occupational science literature. And then we look at how interruptions impact on people doing the occupations that they want or need to be able to do. We explore the theory and philosophy underpinning our profession. So we look at the evidence base behind what we do. We look at the theory that informs our practice. An important element is also putting that theory into practice on placement. So we get you to, at different stages in your education, to go out onto practice where you'll have been learning a particular theory, which then you get a chance to use in the practice setting. And all the time we're looking at the research evidence base, and part of what we do is we learn to look and explore research, and we also for the BSc undergraduate course, the students will be producing a research dissertation in their third year, and for the postgraduate diplomas they will be producing a research proposal for conducting some research. As I said earlier, an important part of what we do is the doing of the learning. So let's have a look at a video of an experiential learning session that we run. An important part, as I said earlier, is the practice placement education. So our placements, as I said, are 1,000 hours. Each course has a slightly different configuration, but you will be doing, I'll talk about the undergraduate course first. So there is an 8-week placement in April, which looks at assessment and planning. So the taught element of the course before that will be looking at building your assessment and planning skills, and then you'll go out into practice, and then you will put those skills out in practice. Then in the second year, at the towards the end of the year, you have a 10-week intervention placement, and again you will be looking at building on the learning that you've had in university. And then in the third year, you will go out on a critical evaluation placement for 11 weeks, and that is in September. For the postgraduate course, they have 4 placements. So there is an assessment placement, which is a 6-week part-time placement, which starts in October. So you'll start in September and then you're out on placement in October. So you'll be out for 4 days and in university for 1 day. Then in March, you go out on a 6-week placement, which is the planning placement. And in June, you go out for an 8-week placement, which is the intervention placement. And then the final placement is in the second year, which is a critical evaluation placement, which is 12 weeks. Allocation of placements. We offer a variety of placements across the programme of study. The Health and Care Professions Council asks that you do placements that work with people with physical health problems and people with mental health problems. So we will make sure that you have the right range of experience that is required. The placements we offer are those available at a particular time that you will be going out on placement. So although we try and take into account what you your own interests, it also is dependent on what is required for you to be able to complete the course successfully. Any formalised reasonable adjustments can be expressed, but these may not always be possible to fulfil. Placements can be anywhere in Mid, South or West Wales. There may be some travel commitments and additional costs associated with the placement, and this needs to be budgeted for. Part of what we have to do is we need to assess that you're making progress. So we use assessments that reflect the skills that you'll need to be working as an occupational therapist. So we will do written assessments. So you obviously need to be able to write reports and writing notes. So we'll be getting you to do some written reports. We also will be getting you to do presentations, because you need to be able to communicate and convey to an audience. That might be colleagues, or it might be the people we're working with who need our services. We also have practice education. So we will get you to go out and put your skills into practice. Examinations are not part of the BSc Occupational Therapy course, but there is in the postgraduate diploma course one examination which is in the first year. So if you decide to apply, what is the application process? There are two slightly different processes for the two different courses. So for the BSc Honours in Occupational Therapy, this is via UCAS. So the closing date on the website is the 15th of January 2021. And applications are shortlisted on academic criteria, the application form and references. For the postgraduate diploma, this is direct entry and the closing date is the 31st of January 2021. Applications are shortlisted against the personal statement, which must reflect the essential and desirable criteria, which is on the postgraduate course details information on the Cardiff University website. So please do look at those when you apply. Essential entry requirements. It's essential that before commencing any of our undergraduate healthcare programmes, you must obtain a satisfactory disclosure and barring service check, DBS check. In addition, before enrolling on the programme, you will be required to complete an occupational health questionnaire and attend any subsequent appointments and receive all necessary vaccinations to undertake clinical placements safely. And if you have any further questions, please contact HCare Admissions at cardiff.ac.uk on that. So if you want to come and study here and you apply, how do we sort of do our interviews? Well, our interview structure for both the BSc and postgraduate diploma is based on a case study and mini multiple interviews. So if you attend, you'll be given a case study which will be sent out to you prior to the interview, and then you'll be asked to come and participate in a group discussion, and then you will be taken into a mini multiple interview room where we have 6 booths where you'll be given a topic area and 2 minutes to read the question and prepare, and then you have a 5-minute discussion with somebody. And then you move on to the next topic area and there'll be 6 of those discussion stations. And then all our offers are made after interview. For the undergraduate course, they are via the UCAS system, and for the postgraduate diploma, it will be through the university admissions team. So I just wanted to say, I think one of our great strengths here at Cardiff is that we see students and staff as part of an occupational therapy community. So I'm just going to show you a few images of former students and some lecturers that you might have if you choose to study with us. There's also, as you can see, an occupational therapy society, and this is a group of students who set it up. And it's run by students across years, and they set up talks and social events for students. So we hope if you decide to come to Cardiff that you'll feel part of our community. So this might let you know why some of the reasons our students say they chose us. So for some it's the city itself or the university, or the fact it's the right distance from home. Some people are attracted by our way of teaching. Problem-based learning is a particular method of teaching which doesn't always suit everyone, so you might want to look at it as a teaching method and see if that is the right method for you. We're a friendly team, and I think this is reflected in some of the feedback that we receive from our students. So we share with you some of the things that our graduates have said, that they enjoyed the problem-based learning, and they found that we were encouraging and supportive, and we hope if you join us that you'll have the same experience. So I hope that you've enjoyed my presentation. I hope maybe it's introduced you to occupational therapy either as a potential career choice, or maybe you're already sure it's the career for you. We've got several social media platforms. I think we're getting very familiar with these in the current climes. So please do keep in touch. We've got a Facebook page and we've got a Twitter page. And I know the Facebook page is has current students on. So some of the people who are, who are about to join us find it quite useful to engage with students who are already here. So finally, as I said, my name at the start of the talk is Heather Hurst, and my colleague Steve Whitcomb is my fellow admission tutor. If you've got any